Jeffrey is like the guy version of the women who hate all men. F these hoes and kick them out to the street. Dating is over if you're under 6'2". Girls don't like me because I don't have the perfect face or I don't put in 40 hours a week in the gym. And they don't care about personality. But Jeffrey's personality is shite. He's resentful, bitter, and hateful. He isn't a fun person to be around. He makes mean jokes about your insecurities and then he gaslights you and says, I'm only joking, relax bro, why are you getting upset? No wonder women don't like Jeffrey. I was always a little jealous of my skinny white friends who seemed like they could talk to girls. They'd be having long text conversations and even meeting the girls and going out with them, whilst I'd be awkward as and still playing RuneScape. The relationship, masculine side of me didn't develop for many years. After I started lifting weights and getting more confident, I started attracting some girls for the first time, but I was still awkward as I made so many mistakes, but I carried on getting more and more confident. And fast forward a few years, I was then a fuckboy. I was going out to clubs and using shirtless pictures on Tinder. I got good at pulling girls, but when I'd get feelings for a girl, I would ruin it with the same mistakes. I realize now that relationships are literally a skill that you can level up just like we leveled up skills in video games. And you're gonna learn my biggest learning lessons and mistakes in this video so that you can level up your relationship skill. Adonis. Adonis is the ultimate man, the outlier male. He isn't a cringy, loud alpha male. He's the best, most attractive, most confident, most masculine leader. But he's humble, and that makes him even more attractive. He's like a magnet for beautiful women. Women orbit around Adonis, whilst Jeffrey orbits around the women. But Adonis wasn't always like this. He learns from the best couple around, his parents. But just like most men, Adonis had to go through his fair share of mistakes to learn how to attract women and have beautiful, healthy relationships. Mistake number one, I had one-itis. The first real relationship that I got into at age 19 was intense. We were on Skype and FaceTime for like 4 hours every day. Eventually we went to the same university and we became boyfriend-girlfriend, and she became my everything. We're living right next to each other and we're spending every day together. This is the first girl that I truly loved, and we planned everything together. Marriage and kids. We even named the kids. The name for the daughter was going to be Araya. But the relationship didn't work out. She was a nice girl, but she lied a lot, and that became intensely stressful for me. Imagine you think that this is your everything, but you can't trust her. The mistake was that I had a hard case of one-itis. It was a very sad and depressing end to the relationship. I deleted all the pictures of her and I spent a month grieving the loss of the future that we planned together. This is Rollo Tomasi's definition of one-itis. One-itis is an unhealthy psychological dependency that is the direct result of the continuous socialization of the soulmate myth in pop culture. In other words, you have one-itis for this woman when you think that she is the one. And you hinge your entire life on that relationship because of this idea that she is your soulmate and there's no one like her. And I know that this is going to sound quite nihilistic and sad, but honestly, bro, there's millions of girls like her, and the truth is there's millions of guys like you. Do not stay in a bad relationship because of this idea that you found the one. When you rely so heavily on the one, you're at risk. And this is an important topic, pay attention. Men kill themselves because of this stuff. Men say, oh, she's the one, she's my everything. If she's your everything, what happens if/when the relationship ends and she leaves and you lose everything? Mistake number two, I remained cold and distant. In my second relationship, which wasn't technically a relationship, I was completely the opposite to the first one. I stayed cold and distant from the girl that I was seeing. And honestly, I can't even say that I was seeing her, that we were dating, because I always stayed at like an arm's length. I literally didn't save her number in my phone for over a year. Even though like she was my main girl, I never became exclusive with her and she always knew that I was sleeping with other girls. I know that that sounds really awesome for some young men out there, but I had strong feelings for this girl. I just had a huge defense mechanism to not really show it, to be vulnerable, because I didn't want to go through that same heartbreaking, painful experience that I had went through with my previous relationship. And this girl in my second relationship was dedicated to me. I've mentioned in a couple of videos of how much she used to do for me. She helped me a lot with the business that I had at the time. Like she would go out to the post office and like post the clothes that I was selling, and she'd even pay for the postage without ever even asking me for it. She cooked great food every day and she ordered and paid for like food deliveries and takeaways very, very often. Honestly, she was leveling up my RuneScape account for me. Think about that, bro. A girl loves you that much that she literally learns the video game that you like to play just so that she can level up your character whilst you're in work. This is the main girl who really made me into like the confident personality that I have, and that's been so valuable for me. But it's weird because eventually we got closer and closer and we moved in together, and the mistake with her that I still regret to this day is that that I had this huge barrier to showing like love and kindness to her because I thought that that was weakness. Day to day right now, I often get like this thought, this wish to be teleported back to that moment and just like give her a big hug and tell her that I love her, because I really did. I really cared for her. We spent almost every minute for an entire year together, and we also had like the relationship for like 2 years before that. Nice girl, man. I didn't really script this bit, but yeah, I miss that bitch. I might be seeing her next month. Like I said to her that I'd take her out for like a good dinner. We'll see how that goes. I won't get into a relationship with her or anything, but like I literally haven't seen her for like 2 years, and obviously like she hated me for a while. I always just wanted to like have one final day where I could just give her the love that she deserved from me. And we ended and I left, and like we didn't see each other we've not seen each other for literally like more than a year and a half or something, and we never really got like a closing like conversation, a closure or anything like that. We never got like a true goodbye or anything, just because like she began to hate me for all this, which is completely fine. And I think that she's starting to like not hate me, and she's yeah, stupid bitch. If you're going to get into a relationship, do not hold back your nurturing love for her. Be warm and kind. Like, this is your woman. Make her feel awesome around you. This might sound like simp advice, but honestly, this is kind of like the most red pill that you can get. Be masculine and provide, and make her feel like a lady. She'll only like you more. Mistake number 3. Controlling. I did a podcast episode with the girl that I was dating at the start of this year. She was in a couple of my random earlier videos, and we met and we really hit it off, and we had a lot of fun times together. We got closer and closer and ended up in a relationship. But to be honest, a mistake even before this was that I wasn't really evaluating girls before getting into a relationship with them. So potentially mistake 3.1 in this video we can say is ignoring the red flags, because there was some very blatant red flags in this relationship that I should have really paid attention to and not pursued. You can't ignore the foundation of which the relationship is built upon. No matter how much fun you actually have with her when you're together, the foundation is actually the most important part. The red flags in this case, no offense to her, but they were that she wanted to, like, she was in the party degenerate lifestyle that I had recently left. And we all know that people in that lifestyle are not ready for relationships. We get into a relationship, and of course she's still the same girl, she still has the same interests. For some reason I had this like idea that she would just suddenly drop all of that lifestyle to be like a monk with me and, you know, start meditating and everything, and obviously not. So it was my mistake to think that she would just suddenly just change her life. And then I became quite controlling, saying that I would break up with her if she like continued going to like parties and stuff. I argued against this point, saying that like I wasn't controlling. In the podcast episode I did with her, I said like, no, I wasn't controlling, you're just being a thought. But I realize now that this isn't the right way to go about it. Never make a girl choose between the things that she wants to do and the people she wants to hang out with and you. Because if she wants to do the things that you deem low quality, you are incompatible, and it's on you to walk away without any kind of threats or trying to like change her. She doesn't want to be saved by you. It's your responsibility to respect yourself and walk away when it's so clear that someone has very, very different interests to you. I wanted better for her, and I wanted to leverage our love to like get her onto like self-improvement and get her away from the degenerate party lifestyle. But people need their learning lessons themselves, and it can be quite traumatic to control and give a person who you're in love with and who loves you an ultimatum. Mistake number 4, letting my self-improvement goals slip whilst in a relationship. This is a mistake that I've made in every single relationship that I've been in. I know some guys aren't like this, but for me personally, I automatically seem to get comfortable as soon as I get into a relationship. I lose my drive for my goals. I start skipping a couple days a week from the gym. I eat some food that I normally wouldn't do. I spend more money. I go to bed way later because I'm spending time with them. This is a huge issue, because then it becomes a case of my growth and my success versus her, and selfish men always succeed. And I've always, after a long time of debating it all, I always end up prioritizing myself. And so it would always stress me out. I'd be next to the girl that I was dating, I just wouldn't be present because I'd be overthinking, thinking like, oh, you know, you've cheated on your diet twice this week, and you're saying that you're going to go out for food right now, you're going to cheat on your diet again. Like you ate 500 extra calories yesterday, but you didn't even track it the day before, so how many calories maybe you should eat less tomorrow. Imagine having these thoughts when you're trying to actually be present and loving with the girl that you're with. I fully don't mean to. I'd like to think that I'm somewhat of a disciplined guy, that I keep the intention to keep working hard and I get motivated by the girl to work harder. it just doesn't seem to work out like that. The issue that I've experienced is that spending a couple days a week with the girl that I'm seeing takes me away from my usual high performance and even quite fun schedule. So here I am on my normal schedule, doing everything so right and self-improving and going to the gym and tracking my calories, sleeping well and everything. And I'm actually enjoying my life doing this. And then here I am with the girl and I'm enjoying my time with her, but all of my goals are getting worse. I'm overeating or I'm eating worse food. I'm spending a lot of money that I should be saving or investing, and we're going to sleep later. You're just doing the stuff that you do in relationships. But of course, when you're a man of self-improvement and you're so focused on just trying to grow and grow and grow and reach those ambitious goals that you've set, it does get to the point where you start to think, okay, I am sacrificing one thing no matter what, and I don't want it to be my goals. I know for a fact that this mistake is so common amongst young men, and I'm so sorry, but honestly, I don't have the answer for this. Maybe someone else can comment some advice for this, because this is something that I still to this day struggle with. How do you get in a relationship but not get comfortable? And I particularly want to hear from the people who generally are those sorts who get comfortable in a relationship and they changed it. Oftentimes when I bring this up, it's usually like this guy who's got a very different personality style to me. And he's like, oh, don't do it anyway, just be disciplined. But it's like, I want to hear from someone who's somewhat like me and they seem to like, you know, like wrap their arms around their girl and not want to ever leave their girl and like, you know, just stay with her 24/7 and shit. How do you take a step back from that, and how do you keep up your goals? Has there been someone who's went through that full transformation? One last piece of advice from me to wrap things up. I realize now that relationships and love are a huge, very important pillar of self-improvement, potentially the most important pillar depending on what your personality is like and what you value, and probably takes a long time to master this pillar, the skill of relationships and love. But I think it's a worthwhile pursuit because the time's gonna pass anyway. So over the last year, I've really put in some effort on this, and I can really see the difference in my ability to be in a relationship and to love a woman. And I've made videos about the progress of that in the books that I've read that you can find on my channel. If you're relating to a bunch of the mistakes that I've made, like a lot of this is like very heartbreaking stuff, and I really hope that you'll take that same step that I did and to start thinking, you know what, I'm gonna set the goal to like be better in relationships. I'm gonna set the goal to like love in more of a healthy way, and I hope you'll take that step. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Mwah.